Hello my friends, it's Andrea here. Are you ready for October? We will have diamond sparks from the eclipses for technology and finance, I can say. So stay tuned for interesting updates. We do have all the outer planets retrograde, as you know, and it's quite interesting because this means that a lot of developments will happen in the background in the next month. And for Bitcoin, we have a roller coaster of October. You are used for the month to be bullish, and I think overall yes, but let's take into account the fact that we will have a strong sideways involvement from Venus and Uranus in the BTC chart until December 8th. Nevertheless, October is very dynamic and we will have peaks which in my opinion will not be so sustainable. Let's walk through the main long-term aspects. To have 4 in a month is quite unusual. And we start October 3rd with a positive influence from Saturn, and on the 10th of October we do have the positive trend with Jupiter retrograde. Again, this is the case, all are retrograde. And this is quite a positive long-term direction, but I think it will unfold with some delay. 5th of October is a sort of critical day from Uranus, and 27th is another one that is quite positive because Uranus will make aspects with the BTC natal chart, the first one being more turbulent in terms of price development, so we would expect a drop. And in the sky we do have challenging aspects from Uranus. Actually they are temporary, but they are quite active, I would say, since Venus and Uranus are active in the Bitcoin chart, and this happens on October 2nd. Also October 30th, be advised, another day of general volatility. Now of course an hourly aspect in the BTC chart or for any other cryptocurrency, but if for BTC it happens, then everything would drop, needs to be triggered as well for the drop to occur. So it's not like 100% guarantee that it will happen, but nevertheless we have 5th as the most critical day, I would say, so between the 2nd of October and the 5th of October for drops, and we will have a overall more positive second part of the month. Mars is also very active. It makes a lot of aspects, overall positive, only if you are negative, and we do have Mercury and Venus also quite rich. If you look at the calendar, it's quite busy. It's much busier than September, and we can really look forward for interesting times and a potential maximum local on around the 27th. It's possible, but again, be careful, these peaks will not be sustainable. And now I would like to continue with the two eclipses separately, this being the most important and the strongest energy in the whole month. The annular solar eclipse takes place in the tropical Libra and in the sidereal Virgo on October 14th, 2023, and will last for 5 minutes and 17 seconds. We can say that the strongest implications after the eclipse, the changes will occur full force in the first 5 months following the eclipse, but they would also unfold afterwards. We have this eclipse in the nakshatra or constellation of Chitra, which is related to the diamond, pearls, so in general jewelry and value. It's related to the architect of the universe, to accounting, and indirectly to finance, because Chitra Gupta is the accountant of the karma in the myth, and it's also about technological advancements, because it's related to the construction of the weapons, for example, in the mythology, which means that we can expect a lot of technological innovation, and this will happen with a radical shift, I would say. This is due to the fact that the Mars, which is the planet ruling the nakshatra of Chitra, is located in Swati, which has the sword as a symbol. And this means that something will be cut, so it will be a radical change in order for the new to be brought forward. The nodes, so Rahu and Ketu, the north and the south node of the moon, are in the last degrees of Aries and Libra respectively, which means that they are at the end of a cycle because they go backwards. So mainly taking into account the absolute degree, it's less than 1 degree of Aries, and it will transition for a new cycle of 19 years roughly into Pisces. And this signifies the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, as we can see, because we do have also Pluto with a cycle in Aquarius of 20 years that will follow shortly, and we saw the advancements in artificial intelligence, and I think the speed of development will accelerate in the years to come. Again, this is also symbolized by Mars and the speed associated with this planet, which would pursue goals in a very strategic way and in a very well thought and planned way. We can expect some turbulence on the day as a general background in the markets, because we do have two oppositions in the sky. One is between Mercury and Chiron, and one which occurred 2 days before, actually on the 12th, between Saturn and Lilith, the black moon Lilith. We will have some sort of oppositions, meaning conflicts and changes in opinion, especially regarding sensitive topics in crypto. I refer especially to the Mercury-Chiron opposition. Chiron signifying wounds, so the wounded healer. Nevertheless, some wounds need to be healed in order to really accelerate forward and evolve rapidly, in my opinion. So again, the sword, it will be cut, it will be a radical change in the next 5 months from what I see, and we do have for BTC actually positive influences on the day of the eclipse. The main one is the strongest, which is the aspect exact on the 10th, so 4 days before the eclipse, which really establishes the trend from Jupiter. It's a growing trend for the upcoming months, and we have also on the 14th a positive aspect from Mars, which is also very important in the eclipse, being the nakshatra ruler where the eclipse takes place. Therefore, I think we can look forward to a new era, and this eclipse will be the starting point. Solar eclipses are always about new beginnings. Stay tuned, have courage. This is the message of this nakshatra, Chitra. Have courage and really push technological innovation with full force. Late October, we will have on the 28th of October actually the partial lunar eclipse in the tropical Taurus at 5 degrees, and for the sidereal zodiac it will happen in the nakshatra of Ashwini, and this is in the sidereal sign of Aries. Ashwini is a constellation ruled by Ketu, and Ketu, the south node of the moon, is situated currently in the Chitra Nakshatra, and it's at the cusp, at the transitioning point between the sidereal Libra and sidereal Virgo, signifying actually a new cycle. We mentioned it for Rahu in the solar eclipse. Now also for Ketu, it's important to really think about the new era and the next 19-20 years roughly, what they can bring. On a global level, we can expect changes on all matters ruled by Virgo, which are linked to the service industry, to agriculture, but also to the medical system and healthcare. Some things would be completely left out and really, closed for the past forever, and new innovation will come in these fields. This is an important shift long term that will influence the way we see the world. I'm sure of that. It's always about an end. So I would say it's the end of the normal era for service industry, for agriculture, and automation, a heavily widespread automation for the next 20 years to come. Now the eclipse itself on the day in the sky has a negative aspect, which is again an opposition. This time it's about Mercury and Jupiter. Jupiter is still retrograde, so we see a revision of law. Again, I think some decisions will be reconsidered, and this will be somehow a trigger for further turmoil in the markets due to the fact that Mercury symbolizes trading and yes, if we think about the other days, surrounding days and their influences, this is quite rich astrologically. We do have a negative influence on the 29th and on the 30th of October we do have a positive influence for cryptocurrencies and currencies especially. And for Bitcoin natally, we do have the very rare and famous Uranus aspect for the 27th of October, so it's one day before the eclipse. So around the eclipse, where the energy is so heightened, we might see a very positive development. Somehow it will be sudden. I don't think the peak will be sustainable, but it could be nevertheless a significant peak locally. And this is something to take into account for the months to come, and looking forward to see all the technological innovation in finance unfolding in the years to come, but especially in the next 5 months. Thank you so much for your attention, for liking and subscribing, and until next time, be joyful.